Ladies. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another high-stakes night of soccer action here at Bishop Helaman Memorial Field in Sioux City, Iowa. Tonight, your hometown heroes, United FC, take the pitch against the formidable Iowa Demon Hawks here in a balmy 87 degrees, 28 degrees Celsius for those of you coming from across the pond. This one's personal. It's pride, power, and playoffs on the line. It's also the final regular season game before your Outlaws head into the playoffs on Wednesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. So grab your Outlaw gear, bring the noise, and let's show the Hawks how we do it in Siouxland. Tonight's starting lineups. For the Outlaws, in goal, number 66, William Devine, all the way from Council Bluffs, Iowa. Your defenders from Fremont, Nebraska, number 16, Lucas Foreman. From Jamaica, the captain, number 5, Xavier Davidson. From South Sioux City, Nebraska, it's number 15, Jaime Ponce. All the way from Montreal, Canada, number 17, Chris Material. Your midfielders, from Osaka, Japan, number 6, Koyoyi Iuchi. Also from Osaka, Japan, number 19, Kiyatsu Yoshida. From Madrid, Spain, number 7, Javi Munoz. And from Laredo, Texas, it's number 23, Emilio Madrigal. Your strikers for tonight's game, all the way from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, number 10, Joao Lutz. And from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, number 20, Daniel Contreras. For the Iowa Demon Hawks, number 23, Luan. Number 2, Storic. Number 31, Mathis. Number 14, Dudu. Number 10, Janderson. Number 22, Joao. Number 16, Mota. Number 12, Barbario. Number 25, Robin. Number 9, Piera. Number 24, Pedro. Number 13, Dame. Number 4, Marcos. Number 20, Felipe. Number 19, Jonathan. Number 24, Callas. And number 6, Jose. And number 5, Morcidio. Unfortunately, the Demon Hawks were unable to provide their head coach. Your Siouxland United FC are led by their head coach, Alex Trent, and assistant coaches Anthony Galgina, BJ Wild, and Giovanni Cruelli, along with our athletic trainer, Dr. Bailey Clapper. We'd also like to thank our dedicated volunteers, event staff, security team, and the media crew. Your hard work makes game day happen. We'd also like to send a special thank you to our primary sponsors who powers the Outlaws on and off the field. Remax Experience, our premier team partner. Whether it's closing deals or scoring goals, they bring big-time performance. Ho Chung Capital, building strong futures through investment and community, and now backing your Outlaws. Lenore Watt Junior YMCA, the official gym and wellness partner for the Siouxland United Health, Strength, and Community. Thrive Health, keeping our players recovered, ready, resilient, and proudly supporting the Outlaws every step of the way. And of course, we'd like to thank our extended family supporters who make every match day a success. Perspective Insurance, Sholster, Campbell's Electric, Shrunk Roofing, Goal Kick Soccer, Adidas, Rent Sue, Plains Asset Management, Get Branded 360, Reds Printing, Go Passage, Quality IT, Mike Murphy, Wells Blue Bunny, La Juanitas, Fibercom, and I'm on Stony Creek Hotel, Chesterman's, and Powerade, iHeartMedia, Specialized Concrete, RAD, LLC, Savvy, Reside Properties, Verde Outdoors, Great Western Rentals, La Piedra de Mal, Bar and Grill, Big Picture Entertainment, Hamilton Touchless Car Wash, Don Aleros Lonchera Food Truck, and Alan Aldevalo with our host families. The anthem has been sung, lineups are in, field set. It's time to show the Iowa Demon Hawks exactly what it means to play in Siouxland. Of course, my name is JD Morrow. Joined with me is the one and only Alex Schuler. Alex, how are we feeling for tonight's game?
Would have felt a lot better if that goal went in right there. You know, we about scored before I got a word in today, but, you know, that would have been a good problem for us up here in the booth.
Absolutely.
Something that Coach Alex Trent would want to see. So, yeah, doing well tonight. Hopefully the weather holds off and got a brightly colored game tonight, so everyone should be able to see things pretty clearly through the stream, I can imagine.
Absolutely, Alex. I mean, yellow and orange. Name a brighter combination here.
Yep, and as you can see, the Outlaws are attacking right to left here with a slight breeze at their back. Kind of a partly cloudy day with some weather around, but the match officials keeping an eye on that as well to make sure everyone's safe.
Absolutely, Alex. Per regulations, any lightning strike within 6 miles of the match means we have to stop the match for at least 30 minutes. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that for tonight's game as we come off the holiday weekend.
Definitely, and a big match on the field with obviously still a lot at stake. This is the very last game in the MPSL North Conference with Siouxland United firmly locked into the 2 seed. You have Duluth FC locked into the 1 seed. But then after that, it's kind of things up for grabs as well. You could see some shuffling in there based on the result tonight. A Siouxland United Outlaws win or draw tonight keeps the standings as is, and they would host Sioux Falls Thunder on Wednesday night next week. Demon Hawks win, and then things get a little bit trickier in the 3, 4, 5 spots with some tiebreakers at hand. So still a lot to play for both teams. Coach Trent will want his team firing on all cylinders heading into that playoff game, obviously. But it's one of those things, you got to manage the situation as well. So there's a throw here on the near side for the Demon Hawks. Kind of been a cagey opening as both teams try and find their footing, and nice clearance there by the Outlaws.
Absolutely, Alex.
Beautiful control there by Munoz.
Should be an interesting game here.
And the Outlaws lining up in their customary system tonight with some familiar names you've seen over the last couple weeks. And the Outlaws have been on pretty good form, getting pretty good results here as the run into the playoffs continues. As a foul there by the Demon Hawks. Outlaws play quickly. Contreras onside. Just a little bit wide. Smart thinking there, I must say, from the Outlaws, though, JD, to try and
absolutely, Alex.
Get a quick goal when the Demon Hawks were a little bit unhappy with that call, you could say.
Absolutely, Alex. Definitely something implemented new this season that we've noticed a lot. The Outlaws really trying to play off of short fouls like that, play quickly. I mean, we've seen in previous games, water breaks and opportunities like that have gotten the Outlaws goals before. As
Lutz goes down there, and a little bit of a collision. Referee was in a good spot. A little bit of a late challenge for the Outlaws, but probably not a bad place to do that in. Gives your team a chance to recover, obviously, on the counterattack, because the Demon Hawks did have some numbers going forward there.
Yep, lets you even out the playing field here as the Hawks are looking to reset some momentum.
Yeah, and this is the first ever matchup of these two teams, obviously, at Bishop Heelan Memorial Field, with Demon Hawks being a new team in the MPSL North Conference this year out of the Des Moines area.
Once again, history being made here at Bishop Heelan Memorial Field as looking like a little bit of trouble here for the Outlaws.
And some sustained possession here for the Demon Hawks for the first time in about the first 7 minutes or so, and a ball over the top that's going to die in the wind here, making it tricky for Davidson, but deals with it well. Devine coming off of his line there, the goalkeeper for the Outlaws, who had a couple spectacular saves in the second half versus Duluth, despite the Outlaws falling just short. Very competitive game in Duluth this Wednesday, if you were able to take that in.
As we get a little bit of action here from the Hawks, sending it far up the upside of the pitch here, left side, as it just rolls out.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see any more balls go in the river outside in the parking lot like the last few games, huh, JD?
Absolutely not, Alex. I imagine our GM Jesse is probably losing his mind over.
Yep, as well as some of the owners, because those game balls aren't cheap, JD.
They are not. When I first learned how much they were, my mind was blown.
Definitely some sustained possession here. Yoshida with some nice work. Back to Iguchi, sitting at the base of the diamond today and looking to combine with his teammate Munoz. Munoz looking to break some lines on the dribble. Kind of got congested there in the center, and the Demon Hawks will look to counter quickly. Great read there by Jaime Ponce. Finds Madrigal. Madrigal, a little slip ball through and just can't find his backside midfielder there. And as we said, the Demon Hawks, everything to play for. Without a win today, their season will be done. As the ball goes out of touch there, and that one does look like it'll go over the fence, but not quite to the creek behind the stadium there, JD.
That is a wonderful thing to hear for our GM, Jesse Castillo here. As
Outlaws a little bit loose in possession, giving it right back to the Demon Hawks, so as they play long. Ponce again with the win.
Pretty well. You know, Alex, it'll be interesting to see how both teams here decide to deal with each other's tactics. As you previously mentioned, Demon Hawks are a new team to this conference, and to my knowledge, unless you can correct me now, this is their first time playing each other.
Yeah, it's been a what seems like almost a different season, as the Outlaws actually did venture in the reverse fixture to Des Moines in the second game of the season on May 17th. Hard-fought 2-1 game.
And that, folks, is why he's stats.
Yeah, it was one of those games where the Outlaws did play pretty well, you know, and since then, you know, teams evolve, teams change over those 2-month periods, and it'll be interesting. You know, the Outlaws will be looking for some revenge, obviously. And like we said previously, you want to be playing well going into the playoffs. As, you know, they do have that home game locked up, so there will be a home game here, which is great for Siouxland, great for the community as well here on Wednesday night. Looking for the big ball over the top. Foreman streaking down that left flank, clear up from his left back position. Looked like a high kick there potentially. Keeper comes off his line and wins it, but it's another avenue the Outlaws might try and exploit, as they've tried to work the ball through the middle here a few times, but they might look to hit that big diagonal a little bit more as we go on here, JD.
It should definitely be an interesting opportunity here for the Outlaws as we get it way up the pitch here. A little bit of a messy header there for the Hawks, as they're quickly able to recover, sending him way up the pitch here. But Foreman able to recover that wayward pass just a little too far for number 27 of the Hawks.
Yeah, and Siouxland has had more of the ball so far, a couple more chances, but the Demon Hawks have looked a bit dangerous on the counterattack. That's something the players and staff ought to be aware of. And speaking of attack, here go your Outlaws. Contreras with a beautiful touch around. Numbers in the box, and Contreras, ball kind of took a little bit of hop on him off the turf there, JD, and
Definitely
Coach Trent looks a little bit bewildered at his two strikers there, how didn't get a shot on frame, as you can see.
Absolutely, Alex. He's not happy with that one there. Dangerous opportunity, but still definitely an opportunity you want to see for the Outlaws so early in the game here.
Yeah, it's a good sign, but it's, once again, one of those things like we talk about often is when you're on top in a game, you have to make it pay, you know, any level, pretty much from the high school level and above, you know, it's one of those things.
Looking like a potential strange call here as we get it back here to the pitch.
Yeah, Coach Trent in conversation with the fourth official about something as well. So Demon Hawks look to attack. Good defending there from the Outlaws, trying to stop another quick counterattack.
Incredible defending as Munoz heads up the pitch there as it rolls out of play here. Just looking like some fireworks off in the distance. As looking like a little bit of confusion there. Officials say, put it back. We're on my time, please.
Definitely, and decent crowd out tonight as well. Lots going on in the Sioux City community, as we'll get back to that after the Outlaws attack, as once again just a loose pass there, kind of on the edge of that scoring area from Joao.
Definitely not something you want to see this so close to the goal there, Alex.
Definitely, and as we were saying, a lot going on in Siouxland this weekend. Obviously, holiday weekend upon us. Saturday in the park going on today as well, so maybe have some people tuning into the stream from there potentially. As the Outlaws look to build through Davidson. Foreman, who's really kind of made that left back spot his over the last few weeks, has really settled into that role for Coach Trent. When I know there's been some shuffle at the back for various reasons all season for the Outlaws, but to still have that consistency is massive, and really well done there by the Demon Hawks. Nice little cushion header back to the goalkeeper. Looks like Mata. And the Demon Hawks will play long. Been pretty good flowing game, JD. You know, I think only one corner kick potentially early for the Outlaws. You know, not many set pieces, so kind of one of those midfield battles here, and both teams trying to implement their style and their method of play on each other, it seems. It's great little touch there from Munoz.
Beautiful.
Breaking lines all by himself today. Looks to find the man in good scoring form, Lutz.
But looks like it was just a little too fast for him there.
Coach trying to plod the idea, though. Brilliant touch there by the Demon Hawks. Great little bit of play to spring his team forward there.
Absolutely. Here as number 2 coming up the pitch here for the Hawks.
Barbaro, it looks like.
Absolutely. Would like to apologize to the Demon Hawks there. They weren't able to get us their roster in time, so we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants as they come up here to the left corner. A little bit of pressure there.
Could be a throw in a very dangerous area for the Demon Hawks here as they'll play short.
Quick pass to Joao there for the Demon Hawks as we get it up the pitch.
Good little switch of play there. I think that's Mota. Deflected. Tricky. Oh, an unfortunate double deflection there. Will be classified probably as an own goal from the Outlaws. Looked like it took a deflection on the initial shot off the midfielder, off Davidson, and Devine couldn't handle it, unfortunately. And
definitely not something you want to see so early in the match here for the Outlaws as we just crossed the threshold for the 16th minute. Outlaws looking to collect themselves there for a hot minute. A little bit of a team talk as they kind of reset the momentum. Definitely not something you want to see from the Outlaws. Devine was just unable to get there in time.
Yeah, and as we were saying a few minutes beforehand, the Outlaws had a couple golden opportunities, didn't put them away, and now they got to respond. They went down in the first meeting 2-0 in the first half, and then kind of turned it on after that, really dominated the game, but couldn't turn that result around. So right now it'll be another interesting response, but the Outlaws have been here before. They went down one of their previous home games were Sioux Falls and ended up scoring 7 goals, winning by 5. So they got it in them. It's just how do they respond right now?
Absolutely, Alex. We're still very early in the game here. But Demon Hawks able to build pretty quickly off that shorthand pass there, Alex. It's definitely just dangerous to see. Something you hope to see the Outlaws once again implement here as a beautiful little
runners were in there if Madrigal could have found them. Lutz attracts 2-3 defenders about every time he gets it, but still finds a way through. Can he do something with it? Kept it in bounds, just overcooked it a bit, and there were numbers in the box for the Outlaws, and the Demon Hawks will maybe look to counter quick when the Outlaws continue to send this many numbers forward.
Once again, Alex Joao Lutz proving himself to be a formidable force on the pitch.
And the other thing, too, is the Outlaws have been a formidable force at home this year as well. So, this result's kind of been going against their recent home form, you could say.
Alex, I didn't want to put the commentator's curse on the team, but here we are. As we're able to get numbers across the pitch.
Munoz here, and this is the guy you want in 1v1 situations. Joao Lutz from Rio de Janeiro, taking people on. A little bit ambitious there, though, you must say, JD.
Definitely a position that I personally would not feel confident taking a shot from. But I can see the vision, from about the 25-yard line.
When you're scoring as much as he is, you can't blame him, though. And he has scored goals from that distance before. I remember his one right before the half against the Sioux Falls Thunder from distance.
Absolutely, Alex. I mean, also, I believe it was last game. He had himself a hat trick here at home. So definitely a player with a lot of confidence.
And the Demon Hawks look to break again.
Devine able to stop it, though. Definitely interesting matchup here. Definitely both teams starting to feel each other out. Get some momentum here for Foreman.
And it'll be something where you might see the Demon Hawks get a little bit more confidence from that goal as well. They started out the season strong, had a little bit of lull in the middle of the season, and now they're in a position they need 3 points to potentially keep their season alive.
Definitely an interesting matchup here with a lot of stakes for both teams. So stay tuned.
Another direct ball there. Looks like they're really trying to hang the ball up in the breezy Sioux City sky tonight. About halfway through the first half here, JD.
So far, so good, Alex. Definitely a little bit. What a pass there from Devine, way up the pitch here. Unfortunately, Hawks able to recover it. A little bit beautiful first 2 headers, but a little bit messy on the touch there as it just rolls out at the top of the pitch here at the 50-yard line.
Coach Trent telling his backline and goalkeeper to calm down and not get away from the way they want to play too. Not try and rush things, being down 1-0.
Absolutely, Alex. Just like I was going to say, a lot of definitely an opportunity you want to see the Outlaws in as Foreman collects, looking for probably a short pass there. Yep, right there. And
just some simple mistakes today in the midfield areas, I would say, from the Outlaws are kind of their undoing so far, JD.
Definitely not. Alex Trent, head coach, not happy with that one.
Yeah, usually Coach Trent's a pretty low-key, not too animated guy, but he's been pretty animated today with, I think, some of the mistakes the Outlaws are making.
I mean, I would be too, Alex. Like we said earlier, just a lot of small mistakes here for the Outlaws that are definitely costing them opportunities. As Let's looks to challenge that pass, but Hawks able to get way up the pitch here.
As the sun starts to peek through the clouds again here. A good sign, obviously, weather-wise.
Divine feeling the pressure from the Iowa Hawks strikers. As we get a little bit of back and forth here from Yaguchi. All the way up here to Foreman. Foreman, once again, formidable force in that back left corner. So we'll see as he gets it up to Lutz.
Lutz with the flare there wins the foul against Mota, who's visibly frustrated with that call.
Yes.
And it's just looking like the Outlaws just need to get back in rhythm, start to playing quicker, dictating the tempo a little bit. That's hasn't been their prototypical response when we've seen them go down at home this year, JD. Usually
Absolutely
they up it.
not usually.
Up the tempo, obviously. Up the mistake, and weird situation here with the keeper needing his boot tie. And
always good to see sportsmanship on the pitch there. Always good to see some sportsmanship out there as we send it way up the pitch here. Like you said, Alex, a little bit of sun peeking through. You know, normally at this point, you're right, Alex. I feel like the Outlaws are definitely disconnected today. I feel like they just need to find that momentum. And normally, as we mentioned, the 22nd minute here, definitely we'll be expecting to see a lot more jive from the team. But as we've kind of mentioned before, it's a lot of
and it's maybe it's a little bit of a hangover from that result the other night, because the Outlaws were actually leading against Duluth the other day as Lutz here attacking. We'll come back to that.
Dangerous.
Looks like he wins a corner. But as I was saying, yeah, they had a 1-0 lead at Duluth. Went down 1-3, responded 2-3, but it was a very competitive game that could have gone either way if not for a couple of moments. So we do have our second corner of the game. So, JD, you know what time that is?
That means it's time to thank our sponsors. I'd like to thank Campbell's Electric, Shrunk Roofing, Gold Kick Soccer, Plain System Management, Get Branded 360, Reds Printing, Go Passage, Verde Outdoors, Great Western Rentals, and Remax Experience, our premier team partner. Whether it's closing deals or scoring goals, they bring big-time performance. Thank you to those for sponsoring our season.
Great little short play on the corner. Good ball in there. The Outlaws had numbers.
Let's go in for an ambitious goal there at the top of the box.
Really good service in there off the short corner play. The Outlaws actually had numbers, and that was a really good defensive header there by the Demon Hawks.
Definitely something you want to see from the Outlaws here.
Definitely.
The coalition coming together.
Yeah, and there's what Coach Trent wants to see. Instead of knocking the ball down, you know, he does want Divine to play out of the back to allow them to get the numbers going. And situations like this is Yoshida here in the corner looking to drive by his defender. Looked like he was potentially clipped there. Referee sees it differently. Had a much better view than us, in fairness. Yeah, those are the moments. Those are the patterns that Coach Trent wants to see. You know, playing through the lines, playing at tempo. As the Outlaws looking to play with a little bit more tempo here, but the Demon Hawks will still look to counterattack in these moments. There's a great win there from number 27 for the Demon Hawks. Looks like the Outlaws want to throw there on the first line. And it looks like the Demon Hawks are trying to shave off any seconds they can of this time. From their goalkeeper needing a shoe tie to little stuff like that to slow down the Outlaws' rhythm. Because as you saw in that last attack, JD, when the Outlaws got in a rhythm, played quick, bing, 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 split through the lines pretty quickly there.
Pretty quickly, Alex. Like, as you mentioned before, definitely not as momentous today as the Outlaws normally are for a home game. But as you mentioned, just those little moments, we can see the momentum just break through here as a lot of dancing from the...
Barbaro looks like gets down this side. Looks like a good player in those 1v1 situations as the Outlaws double up on him to make him play negative.
Definitely able to control the ball very well, Alex.
Well, and that's the thing you don't want as a coach, and I'm sure Coach Trent, the rest of the staff will talk about it, is, the complacency, because the way the standings are, this result technically doesn't matter for Siouxland United, but obviously as a coach and as a program, as Contreras skins by his defender here. Great save there from the goalkeeper, though, on frame this time. But, yeah, you don't want complacency to set in right ahead of your first home playoff game in, team history, obviously, JD. So
definitely not, Alex. Once again, it's another reason why this game is so high stakes for both teams here. Speaking of first playoff games, I'd like to remind you once again that the first playoff games here at home at Bishop Moore Field is this Wednesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. We, of course, will be here in the box, thanks to our beautiful sponsors. Norm Watt Junior YMCA, the official gym and wellness partner for Siouxland.
Bit of a wasted service there. Again, those little things are making a big difference today.
Absolutely, Alex. Not something we don't want to see here.
Yeah, the Outlaws just not as clean as they should be on the ball in possession today, it looks like. Might be something the staff looks to rectify here at halftime.
Definitely, Alex. I imagine that's the first thing on the agenda once we hit the locker room.
At least it's cool enough there's no water breaks today, but in a game like this, sometimes as a coach you might want it to get your team in, refocus, reset, and kind of make some tweaks,
Maybe even a repeat of a couple games ago where we were able to score a goal 15 seconds off a water break there.
Great composure there from Martial, not playing it back into pressure as the Demon Hawks did look to jump on that press a bit. Similar to most teams, the opposition today giving the center backs time on the ball here. It'll be up to them to find some midfielders to break lines here as Iguchi has some space if he drives forward. Finds Munoz in the right half space. Outlaws have numbers forward if they can continue to work it up the field here. Munoz looks like he wants the ball at his feet often today. Ball sprayed out wide here.
Going to Foreman off the... Definitely a lot of traffic here in the midfield as a dangerous opportunity for the Outlaw. Contreras able to break the lines pretty quickly as just rolls out of play here. Looks like Iguchi goes straight to Foreman, short pass, looking to capitalize on an opportunity here as Davidson, just a really messy touch there, costing him a couple seconds. As we find ourselves in the back line of the Outlaws. Outlaws looking to reset as we give it to Divine.
The captain Davidson looking to start the attack again. Yeah, it's something the Demon Hawks with that double deflection goal will look to sit in a little bit more, especially now versus the Outlaws, and try and take their chances on the counterattack. The Outlaws are the highest scoring team in the MPSL North Conference. Speaking of scoring, Lutz almost got a shot on frame there, but good defending by the Demon Hawks.
Lutz once again proving himself to be a formidable foe there as he was able to break past two defenders.
Yeah, and as we were saying, the Outlaws are the highest scoring team in the MPSL North Conference.
A badge we wear with honor.
With scoring 25 goals throughout the 9 games this season so far. So you would expect them to be able to get back in this with a goal or two tonight, JD. But yeah, like we were saying, a couple things got to get cleaned up to make that happen.
Absolutely, Alex. The devil's in the details, and the details are not as dastardly as they'd like them to be. Has a little bit of almost connection there.
And it looks like the Demon Hawks are really trying to play direct through that left-sided channel. kind of play the ball to that side, and then obviously get numbers forward and around to combine, kind of play on the counterattack there as well.
Definitely interesting here as Davidson run a lot of space on the pitch here.
Yeah, asking for some help from his midfielders there today so they can build out.
Davidson cuts it up to Foreman. Foreman cuts it up to Lutz. Lutz just loses it there.
Good little battle here on that left side. A little bit between Lutz and Mota, number 16. As the Outlaws win it off. Aguchi's in. Can he make him pay? What a finish. Great little pressing moment there from Contreras and Aguchi, who stayed high from his midfield position, and what a finish from the defensive midfielder there.
Absolutely, Alex. A beautiful, not quite as far as I normally would expect him to, but a beautiful kick into the top right corner of the goal.
Definitely, and that's a standing that changes the Demon Hawks' fate if this score holds as well. Their season will be over as now.
Definitely a shift in energy here as from both teams as they both realize the information we just divulged here as we enter the 30th minute of the match. It'll be interesting to see how the Demon Hawks respond here in the last 15 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, and a big goal from kind of an unlikely source. You know, Aguchi, I don't believe, has gotten on the score sheet much at all this year, but good moment and a big moment for him. Obviously, he does a lot in the deeper areas of midfield, but ventured forward and made the most of his opportunity. And a great little press there from Contreras as well, just to win it, find him in that little half space. And the Outlaws look to expand on this like we've seen many times before. Down 1-0, turning a game around, completely changing the momentum.
Absolutely, Alex. And there appears to be some shift in momentum here as the Outlaws are dancing in their back. As we get it over to Davidson, the captain, asking for a little bit of help there from his midfield, able to get it up to the Gore Scholar Iguchi.
And in other good news, it looks like the rain chance keeps going down tonight. So good things on two front. And Contreras looks to be involved again, trying to take it on his own.
Contreras trying to counteract the commentator's curse there.
Good little win there from the Demon Hawks.
Definitely a shift in momentum from both teams. Alex, I don't know if you see it, but I definitely see something here.
Well, they often say goals change games, JD, and here we are. If not for a double deflection goal, it would be 1-0 Outlaws, but sometimes the game's weird like that. You got to respond accordingly.
Absolutely, as Barbaro.
Barbaro's got some pace here, and
just gets
referee says the ball went out there, and we'll take it. It did look mighty close, though, I must say.
It did look mighty close, Alex, as the Demon Hawks head coach absolutely not happy with that call.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame him, though. He had probably just as good of a view as the assistant referee, though. I can't blame him right there. Sometimes as a coach, you know, when you're that close to the play, you're like, I'm not going to complain about something I don't feel is right. So
absolutely, Alex.
I've been there many a times myself in discussions with referees, I must say, JD.
I can confirm that, folks. I've definitely seen Alex have those conversations.
Yeah, I can't say, you know, I haven't got a yellow card or 2 or 3 on the sideline before. 2 or 3 or 4. But again, another just loose pass there from the Outlaws, JD, and on a simple, unmarked moment, you know. And I would imagine Coach Trent and the rest of the coaching staff, Anthony, BJ, and Gio will look to get in the locker room with him quickly. And look what that loose pass has led to. It looks like he might have been offsides there, but the Demon Hawks look to make it pay. Good little defensive clearance there from Foreman.
Absolutely, Alex.
Attack still on. Great defending there from Yoshida. Noguchi looks to spring it forward. What a fantastic ball, getting the main man, Joao Lutz, on the attack. And, yeah, great little covering defending there from number 14, Dudu.
Incredible opportunity there, Alex. But, yeah, Alex, like you said, just that one misplaced pass there, I mean, we're creating dangerous opportunities for both teams, actually. But
yeah,
able to build off quite quickly here as
Yoshida looks to control as the goal scorer, looking to find his strikers now in those half spaces here, looking to play a bit more direct, try and get that second goal here before half, kind of similar to the Sioux Falls game. If they can get the second goal before the half and go from one goal down to 1 goal up here, kind of changing the team talking. Good little switch there to Mata for the Demon Hawks.
Mata sends it up the pitch there. Davidson, the captain, able to get it out with the header.
And it looks like the Demon Hawks are really looking to put the Siouxland center backs under pressure with those longer balls. As Lutz here in space, not much for support, so you know he's going to take it on. And a great little run there from Madrigal.
Just off the post.
And I believe it hit the tire. Hit the tire behind the post there, which leads to a goal kick. As Madrigal got himself in a great position, as you have to put that on frame. And that's one of those moments you hope doesn't come back to bite the Outlaws.
Absolutely not, Alex. As we got a wayward goal kick here from the Hawks. A little bit of back and forth action. The Hawks have a dangerous opportunity here for the Hawks here as Barbado finds himself alone. A little bit of numbers here as the Outlaws able to apply some pressure. Foreman right there waiting for the able to support.
And the Demon Hawks have looked dangerous a few moments here when they ventured forward, and dangerous ball in. Davidson been very good today at dealing with those balls. Looks like Joao will recycle it for the Demon Hawks.
Absolutely, Alex. Like you just mentioned, Demon Hawks definitely proving themselves to be at least a danger as they're able to when they get up the pitch here. Definitely some pressure in positions that we do not want to see here as Joao seems to take his time looking for an opportunity to get it over to do what he do as he gets it up the pitch here.
You should hear a speeding car down Hamilton Boulevard in the background, JD.
Oh, so some things don't change here in the Sioux City area. As Demon Hawks, beautiful pass between traffic.
Demon Hawks were actually getting some momentum there on the ball a little bit as
Lutz finds him.
Looks like he went down light and referee wasn't buying it and calls a handball. Even though we are the home crew, I probably would agree with that. The referee, I think, was in a good position, and Joao was trying to release the pressure there.
Definitely, Alex. Definitely something he...
But as Coach Trent must do, he's got to question the fourth official about it. At least put the thought in their mind, JD, for the next one, you know?
Definitely planting seeds there, Alex, as any good coach would. Not that we're...
Demon Hawks will look to really use this set piece, though. Looks like it'll potentially be an in-swinger here from G. Anderson. Goes way to the back post, and that does not look like a pleasant collision there. As
Dr. Bailey Clapper suits up in preparation here. Up there she goes.
Looks like, I think that was Madrigal, or Munoz at the back post, excuse me. Who's been having a good game on that right side of the midfield diamond.
Definitely not definitely a head injury, definitely not something you want to see for a player as we enter the playoffs.
And you could see that one coming, unfortunately. It was one of those challenges. Both the players had to go for the ball in that moment, I think. Just because, you know, obviously, you know, the attacker's trying to win it first team, defender's trying to clear his lines. No intent, obviously, and it looks like Coach Trent's already being proactive with making a change here. Potentially, it looks like Baza's getting ready. I would imagine it's probably a straight swap there. He probably saw the same thing we did with the head-to-shoulder collision.
Absolutely, Alex, as the Outlaws looking to collect some water. Both teams looking to take this opportunity for a quick water break.
Maybe they can get some Powerade from Chesterman's during this break.
Would be great. Once again, we've mentioned it before, Blue Powerade. At an event like this, that's the flavor to go. Definitely a good day for some Wells Blue Bunny, Alex. As we
it looks like Baza will go. When you think that's a situation with the substitute, you know, like we were saying, Coach Trent might be, you know, even more protective given the scenario that it's, you know, Siouxland's locked in that second seed. You know, he's been an important player the last few weeks for them, JD. So
absolutely,
obviously
Alex.
Protecting your important players for the playoffs at this point is the most important thing as well.
Absolutely, Alex. You want them to have fresh pairs of legs for the for the first home game of the playoff season on Wednesday, July 9th at 7 p.m.
And it looks like Trent's swapping a couple players with the substitution as well.
Definitely, Alex. You know, Alex, gotta ask you, if you were head coach right now, what are you looking for the Outlaws to be doing here as we enter the 40th minute
Well,
of the first half?
Yeah, it looks like he's basically swapping sides with Yoshida and Baza. Just so you obviously you're making a change with that head injury. You know, it looks like it's not going to be much time for the guys to gel here before halftime. But you just look like nothing crazy here before halftime, I would say, in terms of decision making, JD, because the game's at that point, it can go either way. The next goal will really, really, really dictate things, and for obvious measures and for complicated measures as well. So, you know, I think get the ball down, play. You know, that's what Coach Trent's going to look for them to do here.
Definitely something here as Yoshida
Looks
gets
like
up the pitch.
Substitute Baza here finds himself on the ball.
Foreman up the pitch.
Already involved here, looking to combine with the strikers, and he's looking to make an impact right away. Nice little rhythm of attack is.
I would say definitely the rhythm you want, definitely the energy you want to see from the Outlaws. As ball rolls out of action here, hits the sign of the YMCA. As beautiful pass across the pitch for the Demon Hawks. Unfortunately, not able to collect or capitalize on that second pass way up the pitch here.
Looks like the Demon Hawks are actually going to make a sub as well.
Moda.
Makes you wonder if it's tactical or fitness-wise, as Barbaro here looks to counter another loose pass from the Outlaws here, and cannot have that here. Just some. Looks like the ball ran out of touch there.
Absolutely, as Mardecio for the Demon Hawks looking to step on the pitch here, along with another swap for your Outlaws.
Yeah, it looks like
Munoz is coming back.
potentially injury sub, head injury sub. It appears like.
Pierre stepping off the pitch for the Demon Hawks as Marcedio takes his spot.
Back on the field after a little bit of a head injury. Looks like Dr. Bailey Clapper has cleared Javi Munoz to come back on the play.
Baza stepping off the pitch here as Munoz coming back on the pitch. Definitely a force you want to see here.
Yeah,
It's good to see that that head injury doesn't seem to be too complicated as Dr. Bailey Clapper, the one and only, has cleared him to come back on the pitch.
and that's what you want to see. Obviously, you know, good rule they have in place where you can sub a player for a head injury. Baza almost made an instant impact though as well. He probably will have wanted to stay on, JD.
Definitely, Alex. You know, if I'm him, I'm wondering, you know, I was doing all right. Why are you calling me off here? As Lutz, or excuse me, not Lutz, Yoshida, just receiver of a very wayward pass, just way too forward there, too ambitious for the Outlaws. As we enter the 43rd minute here, so about 2 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Definitely opportunity to
Yeah,
see some goals
will
here.
be a couple added minutes, I assume, with stoppage for the head injury and obviously a couple goals each way.
Absolutely, here Barbado just unable to control.
But you would imagine it's one of those scenarios the Demon Hawks will look to continue to push forward. There's another little battle here between Mata and Lutz on this near side.
Yoshida loses that header. All right, and Foreman. A little bit back and forth action, kind of a messy pass. Here as Demon Hawks able to collect on the top side of the pitch. Definitely a lot of back here. Doo-doo feeling the pressure here as Yoshida able to collect. Definitely dangerous opportunity here for the Outlaws as Lutz gives it a short pass to, or Foreman gets it a short pass over to Lutz, excuse me. As we find ourselves cut across the pitch. Munoz looking to make some impact as just too far to the left there.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been able to play Contreras in there more so than the last shot. Contreras, even after he played the ball, looked like he was in some space there, but that's that decision making, the little bit looseness in possession that you don't want to see, but
Absolutely, Alex.
good little touch there from the Demon Hawks, and we're off.
Hindsight's 2020. There's the Demon Hawks. Danger opportunity here. Barbosa cutting up the pitch. Barboa just dancing. Foreman able to give him a quick stop as we have a quick shot on goal right to the hands of Divine.
Mota may be looking to create another double deflection. As we are in the first half stoppage time, and the Outlaws are trying to pull another 2-1 win. And the big switch was on there, but Madrigal didn't feel like playing it to Foreman. Looked like Foreman was potentially in. Still numbers up on this far side. Great little through ball there from Lutz. Is probably not a foul, but Outlaws bench has to appeal for that one. JD is good little interchange there as we're in the 4 added minutes.
Absolutely.
Probably about 45 seconds in right now.
Absolutely, Alex. Number 31, Mathis for the Demon Hawks. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm an official, but definitely looked quite aggressive shove there from him, as Demon Hawks looking to capitalize on this opportunity as a goal kick. Way up the pitch here, as it bounces off number 17, Martial. Definitely a lot of dangerous opportunities, a lot of energy here from.
Might be looking for that big switch here to Barboa.
Foreman able to deny.
So that's something you don't want to see as well.
As we get a yellow card for number 5 here, Marcio.
Yellow card to number 5 there. A little bit of caution for that
And
interaction with
probably rightfully so. It did look like his cleat was up there a little bit mistimed.
Absolutely, Alex. Looks like he's
Referee does not want that getting out of hand, as potentially this could be the last game of the season for the Demon Hawks. And
definitely not. As he enters the ref's books here. A lot of words being traded on the pitch here. Davidson looks like he's giving it up to the Divine. Divine sends it up the pitch here. Finds it in the position of Yuguchi. Yuguchi.
a little bit too direct there from the midfield.
A little too direct.
Idea was right, just the execution a bit off there, JD.
Definitely, Alex. Definitely not something you want to see here. But we are in the first half stoppage time, so there is plenty of time to correct in the locker room and on the second half. As the Demon Hawks looking to take their time, and just looking to kill as much of it as possible here before half. Fire pass up the pitch here. Demon Hawks have been able to collect just not quite as clean touches as they would have liked.
Yeah, look just like a tangle of legs there from what I saw, JD.
Definitely, Alex says Martial and the Demon Hawks are trading a couple words here. Sorry, unable to collect names here as the Outlaws gain a second quick throw in here. Definitely a dangerous opportunity here. Hopefully looking to see some quick action. And as Foreman gets it back to Davidson. Davidson up to Lutz.
That battle rages on as Mota goes in a little bit late there. Late again, but the referee plays advantage. Outlaws can't make it pay off there, though. And that might be a battle to watch, obviously, with Lutz and Mota as we go forward.
It will definitely be something interesting to see here on the pitch as we prepare to enter probably the end of a stoppage time pretty soon here. As Demon Hawks looking to create some space up at the pitch here. Beautiful little touch there from the Hawks. But not good enough as it ends up in the
Little bit surprised that ball stayed in on the far side.
position of defeat. You know, Alex,
It does get a bit deceiving, though, with the black running track and the turf still being navy, though.
surprised both of us, Alex.
It's Foreman here. Big diagonal ball and a great ball there to Munoz.
Beautiful pass.
Can
Beautiful
the Outlaws
touch
make
there.
it pay here right before half? And just a bit too far in front of Lutz there. And that is halftime. So your halftime score right now is 1-1.
That's half.
Outlaws go down early, but obviously respond in a positive manner, and we will be back here shortly for the second half. JD, any thoughts?
You know, Alex, nothing really big here. Honestly, just hoping that they're able to clean up those small details in the locker room for the second half, so that we can capitalize on some goals. Outside of that, just hoping to see some better momentum from the Outlaws second half.
Definitely, yeah. The coaching staffs for both teams will be looking to get in here at halftime, make some adjustments, but we will be back with everyone in about 15 minutes here, and we'll catch you on the other side of halftime. Go Outlaws. And welcome back to the second half here at Bishop Healy Memorial Field. As we like to welcome you back with some of our sponsors. And JD, take it away.
We'd like to thank Remax Experience, our premier team partner. Whether it's closing deals or scoring goals, they bring us big-time performance. Ho Chunk Capital, building strong futures through investment and community. And now, backing your Outlaws, the Norm YMCA, the official gym and wellness partner for Siouxland United. Health, strength, and community. Thrive Health, keeping our players recovered, ready, and resilient. Proudly supporting the Outlaws every step of the way. We'd also like to thank Perspective Insurance, Schulster, Camels Electric, Shrunk Roofing, Gold Kick Soccer, Adidas, Rent Sue, Plains Asset Management, Get Branded 360, Red Printing, Go Passage, Quality IT, Mike Murphy, Wells Blue Bunny, La Juanitas, Fibercom, and I'm on. Stony Creek Hotel, Chesterman's, and Powerade, iHeartMedia, Specialized Concrete, RAD, LLC, Savvy, Riverside Properties, Verde Outdoors, Great Western Rentals, Big Picture Entertainment, Hamilton Touchless Car Wash, and the Aran Alberano family for sponsoring us this season as we enter back here at Bishop Hill Memorial Field over the short break, Alex.
Definitely, and yeah, you look to see if the Outlaws made any adjustments here, obviously, for the second half, and we'll kind of get into it early with our special guest today.
The one and only East Kilbride's Emma Jolly.
Yes, and I'll have Emma introduce herself here in a second. As we're excited to have Emma join us today, as we're looking for a guest today, and she just happened to try and enjoy the air conditioning in the press box today, so we roped her into it. So Emma, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. And I told Emma to speak slowly, obviously, with her thick Scottish accent, and I'll let her introduce herself a little bit with how she ended up in Sioux City today, and what she's been doing in Sioux City the last couple of years. So Emma, just introduce yourself to everyone, and then we'll kind of get into it.
So I've played my last 2 years at WIT. I was on the women's soccer team. I'm originally from Glasgow, Scotland. So yeah, I've been in Sioux City for the last 2 years.
And what do you like about Sioux City? On the field, off the field, what's kind of your best memories from that?
I really enjoyed my time at WIT. I'm really thankful for the people I met there. I don't think Sioux City's a bad place. It's quite quiet, it's quite small, so it's easy to know the place and you get to know the locals, which is really nice.
Nice, nice. And yeah, obviously, so you played 2 years at WIT, are you looking to play somewhere else the next couple years then? Obviously, what's in the plans then?
Yeah, definitely. I'm transferring out to continue studying over here and playing soccer.
Yeah, and being from overseas, obviously you've seen like the footballing culture over there versus here. What would you say is a positive, obviously, about what's growing in Siouxland? Obviously, Siouxland United started about the same time you came over here. You got the Sioux City Soul as well. What would you say is the most kind of exciting thing, obviously, as we got Contreras on attack here? Doesn't come to anything. Exciting things about Sioux City as a footballing area compared to what you've seen overseas?
I think it's doing really good things, having a semi-pro men and women's team here. It's definitely bringing a good name to the city, and especially with what the guys have done this year, it's looking really good.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, what would you say to maybe give some advice to any internationals coming over to Sioux City for the first time, perhaps, either for one of the semi-pro teams, as we got a rough foul there from the Demon Hawks. It looks like the Outlaws will try and make this pay. But, yeah, what would be some advice you give to any internationals coming over here, Emma?
I think it's a great place, like just because it's not that big, and you make the best out of a bad situation, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely not a bad place to be, and everybody here treats the community. It's a great community to be a part of.
Right. So, lastly, what would be your thoughts on the game so far? It's been a kind of a back and forth game. I thought, what adjustments would you see potentially from the Outlaws or the Demon Hawks here to try and change this?
I think it's been a good game. Obviously, it was an unfortunate start, but I think the boys have come back well, and they seem to be doing really well.
Almost a goal right there.
Yeah.
You about had to keep talking. Still almost a goal, Emma. Every time we have a guest on, there's a goal. I swear, you can ask GM Jesse Castillo about his interview.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a great game, back and forth, really competitive. There's a lot to play for today, so hopefully the boys come out on top.
Oh, great ball through there. Divine does very well there. But, yeah, Emma, thanks for hopping on the stream today. You didn't know you were getting roped into this about 10 minutes ago, so we appreciate it. And, you know, we're thankful to have you here in Sioux City and obviously give some insight as an international student over here in the community. So thanks for your time.
That's great. Thanks, Alex.
Yep. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And we got
East
JD
Kilbrides.
back, and we thank Emma again.
Once again, thank you to East Kilbride's very own Emma Jolly for joining us. My second favorite Scotty.
And once again, you know, we have a guest on, and the Outlaws almost score, so that seems to be a good trend,
Incredible, Alex. I mean, the consistency of the fact that, once again, just every time we have a guest, whether it's planned or not, apparently we just almost get a goal for the Outlaws here. As we get a quick short pass here from Foreman. Foreman able to create a lot of traffic here as we get a call for the Outlaws there.
And it looks like the Outlaws have made some adjustments to start potentially a little bit quicker here, JD, with the really dangerous chance a couple minutes in as we were speaking to Emma. And, yeah, you know, it's one thing. The Demon Hawks are playing for their season here. These last 45 minutes as a win will potentially put them in the running and create all sorts of chaos with the three-way tie with 3 teams on 13 points.
As we get a yellow card, I believe that was for the Hawks, number 25, Robin.
Yeah, and it looks like the Outlaws really are pushing the tempo here, and something Coach Trent will want to get out of the Outlaws here.
Looking like the Outlaws over here build some momentum here as Davidson way up the pitch here. Incredible short pass here to Foreman. Foreman able to get it back. Look like a little bit of back and forth action for the Outlaws as a bit of a wayward pass and some messy. Once again, Alex, we just see the devil in the details costing the Outlaws some pretty good opportunities here, but seemingly also seems to just cost the Hawks an opportunity there as they lose possession.
Looks like Madrigal finds himself on the ball. Looks like the substitute there, Espinoza here, who came on at halftime for the Outlaws. Foreman looking to get in down that left side. And the Outlaws are looking to get higher up the pitch here is Lutz here, the danger man. Great little flick there. Looked like he got pushed over a bit, but the referee saw nothing in it. The referee did see something in that as number 12, Barbaro's down. Clutching his ankle a little bit. Demon Hawks only a couple substitutes tonight too, so a little bit thinner bench than the Outlaws here. They traveled a few less people tonight.
Definitely not something you want to see if you're a Hawks fan.
Yeah, and he's been one of their danger man going forward here today.
Definitely. Especially not so early in the second half here for, once again, just a key game for both teams here. But if you're a Hawks fan, if you don't win this one, your season's over.
Definitely, and looks like Davidson deals with it well as Jaime Ponce. Foreman looked like he hit against the hand there, but the Demon Hawks looking a little bit ambitious shot there as referee was explaining to the Outlaws that it was in a natural position. And you can make that determination as a ref if it does strike a hand or an arm or something like that. If it's in a natural position, doesn't allow a team to possess, you can make that decision. And looks like the referee was explaining that to a few of the Outlaws. Great ball there from Davidson as the substitute gets on the ball here, Espinoza.
Definitely interesting to see kind of the change in momentum here as Outlaws able to push it out. Here, Foreman looking for probably a short pass, and so he does to able to get some back and forth here. Looking like a pretty wayward pass here from the Outlaws. Once again, just the devil in the details for the Outlaws. Just those small mistakes really costing them potentially dangerous opportunities. As Madrigal was by himself for one-on-one with the defender.
Yeah, and as we will kind of map out the future here for, it looks like a foul there. Referee tried to play to advantage, but interrupted myself there as I was kind of talking about the upcoming calendar for the Outlaws potentially. As we said, the next game will be a playoff game, and the top 4 teams from the NPSL North Conference make it, and the Outlaws will be that 2 seed. So we'll be hosting whoever ends up as the 3 seed after this match. As of now, it would be another third edition of the Siouxland Derby this year, if this result holds. And the Sioux Falls Thunder would be traveling here on Wednesday night, and then the other semifinal would be Duluth FC hosting Joy Athletic Club, and the winners of those 2 games would then play on Saturday, September 12th. Or not September, July 12th. Sorry, I'm looking way far ahead here. I wish it was September because it's cooler. Yeah, great little touch there. Yeah, so it would be the 9th and 12th next week, a little Wednesday, Saturday slate potentially if the Outlaws take care of business Wednesday night, and that would mean either a trip to Duluth, or if Joy upsets Duluth, it would be another home game as well. So the Outlaws have potentially put themselves in a position for 2 more home games, but 1 home game for sure. It depends on how the other results hold. That would be the 3rd edition of the Siouxland Derby this year. Another history-making moment, JD. You know, the Outlaws and the Thunder haven't played 3 times in a season yet, as Lutz here trying to make sure that it's a Siouxland Derby next week. It looks like he won his team a corner there. Absolutely. And you know what that means, JD? Time to recognize some more of our sponsors.
Absolutely, Alex. We'd like to thank Shrunk Roofing, Gold Kick Soccer, Specialized Concrete, iHeart Media, Chesterman's and Powerade, Verde Outdoors, Don Anna's Loncheria Food Truck, Big Picture Entertainment, La Piedra del Mal Bar and Grill, Reside Properties, and Go Passage for sponsoring our season here.
Going quick here, looped ball into the air. Sorry to interrupt you there, JD. Outlaws weren't ready for you to keep talking. They wanted to get on with it, my dude.
Absolutely not. You know, they're ready. They are ambitious for another goal here.
Yeah, it looks like the Demon Hawks are trying to stay in the game as long as they can here, since they do know their season's on the line. As second half has been all Outlaws these first 11 minutes, though, JD, I must say.
Absolutely, Alex. Definitely, once again, just seeing some misplaced details costing the Outlaws opportunities here, but definitely a shift of momentum from at least the Outlaws, as we see a lot of back and forth action here. Foreman sending it up the pitch over to Let's looking for opportunities here, able to somehow keep it in here as Foreman crossed the pitch, looking like dangerous opportunity here for the Outlaws, as the Hawks are able to deny.
And that's a little bit of a late challenge there. Looks like the substitute here, Baza, came in a little bit late. And yeah, it definitely looks like Coach Trent and the staff made some changes in that midfield, obviously with some fresh legs here, as we were talking about earlier, heading into the playoff, and a great drive here down the side by the Demon Hawks. Looks like hand was against his body. Referee at least being consistent with that ruling, so fair play there. Didn't call the opposite of that, so that's one thing you got to respect there from the officiating side. Looks like a yellow card there for dissent for number 27.
Yellow card to Demon Hawks, number 27. Looks like he's getting caution for a little bit of dissent there.
And the referee explaining just what we were talking about, obviously just the consistency in what he saw from both the non-handball calls. Is Demon Hawks getting a little bit frustrated with that, as they're obviously trying to push for that goal to change the game and continue their season here. But yeah, one thing I know Coach Trent's been really happy with is how the season has kind of worked out and evolved. You know, they've had lots of roster movement this year for the Outlaws, lots of changes, where I think, you know, that were kind of unexpected, I think, for everyone involved. But a great ball there from Baza. Great little play there as Espinoza sees him through. It is a lovely build up there from the Outlaws, JD, and that possibly was their best move of the game there, playing through the lines, you would say.
Definitely seeing the momentum mash up there beautifully. Definitely, I would absolutely agree with you, Alex. Definitely the best 5 seconds of the Outlaws in this game here, as a beautiful touch for them, for the Demon Hawks.
Definitely, and as I was saying, you know, after speaking with Coach Trent, you know, having all that roster movement in and out, some players have to leave at certain times, some players come in at different times. He did say they might potentially get some players back in the fray here for various reasons for the playoff run too, which made him a little bit excited about what they could do in the future. But obviously, as he said, you know, once you get to the playoff time, it's one and done, so you got to be ready to play and perform on that particular night, JD.
Absolutely, as Espinoza hits the pitch here, able to get a whistle blown for the Outlaws. Definitely should be.
And Coach Trent in conversation with the officials as well. He wants to keep that perfect home record for the Outlaws, something that would be a first in team history as well, just in their second season. If they can get all 3 points today, as maximum points at home would be 5 games at home, 15 points. 15 points out of 15, JD, which is an impressive feat, I must say, with, you know, the context that they have been down in a couple of those games and been kind of a free scoring side at home as well, scoring multiple goals in a lot of those results.
Absolutely, Alex. You know, this season we just seem to be seeing history be set multiple times this season. As it was quite a short pass there for the Outlaws. Definitely not something you want to see here from Ponce.
And it might have been the commentator's curse. We talked about the fast start there the first 10 minutes. The last 5 minutes here have been a little bit more subdued from the Outlaws, as, you know, it looked like those changes in midfield really sparked some things here as Espinoza there wins the ball and plays. Laterally finds Baza.
Definitely.
And then the Demon Hawks will look to counter here and change the game.
Stork up here on the left side here.
Espinoza there almost wins the challenge, but the Demon Hawks continue. Looks like they straight off sides, and Demon Hawks got to be careful here.
It's definitely not a call you want to see if you're a Hawks fan right now. Should be an interesting play as we find the ball with the Outlaws' Will Devine here. Foreman from the back corner. Short little pass. Up the pitch.
And the Outlaws looking to up the tempo again, JD, like we saw.
Definitely.
Great job to ride the challenge there from the Demon Hawks.
Absolutely.
Looks like number 2. Looks like Stork. Referee actually tries to play advantage there, but does a good job pulling it back. I will say I think the man in the center's had a pretty good game today, JD.
Definitely.
Been really consistent.
Absolutely.
Both ways, and I think that's helped the game flow as well, you know.
Something you want to see from referees, you know, is consistency, as I'm sure you'll attest to as a
Looks
soccer
like
coach.
the Outlaws have a few substitutes up and getting ready. Looks like Sergio Mijanjos is one of them. Local Sioux City kid who's played the last few years on this very field as a high school player and is going to Bellevue University next year. Has actually made quite an impact off the bench the last couple games, coming in up top for the Outlaws. And game like this, you know, maybe you look for him to get on the score sheet. He scored a fantastic goal against Duluth FC last game. Is a little bit dicey there from the Outlaws playing out. Confidence in Devine to not mess about there. But yeah, as I was saying, Sergio's come on, made a really big impact, and, you know, got a couple other guys warming up as well. So you might see Coach Trent continue to make some changes here. Is great defending there from Jaime Ponce. Looked like he got pulled down. Referee lets it go because the Outlaws want a goal kick potentially. Did look like Ponce had position there though, JD.
Definitely, Alex, as we enter the 62nd minute. Devine.
Looks like nothing lost there on the grabbing in the box, but Devine sprays the ball wide. Yeah, you definitely look for the Outlaws to continue to push this tempo. Baza tried to win a foul there, but ball goes out of touch. Oh, and it looks like he won a throw, so next best thing you could say.
Absolutely, Alex, as we look to capitalize on that short little pass there.
Definitely.
Good, beautiful cross across the pitch here. Might be a little short right into the Outlaws. Number 10, Jenderson. Definitely be an interesting match here.
Yeah, looks like a couple of those substitutions will take place here for the Outlaws soon. It looks like a double swap for the two strikers. Looks like Puey and Mijanos is both coming on.
Salute here as the Hawks.
The Demon Hawks here looking to break, and better ball there, and they were through as Davidson looks to exploit the space now. Long ball there and a bit too long from Baza, maybe. Contreras assumed it was going out, but it looks like the wind killed it a little bit there. Could have kept the ball in play potentially.
Potentially, Alex, but definitely a hindsight.
And that'll
2020
be
call.
Couple of substitutions.
Contreras' last action as Joao Lutz steps off the field as well. So you had two fresh players up top there. JD looking to push the tempo, you must say.
Definitely, Alex. Something you want to see on the pitch right now is a fresh pair of legs. This late in the game, as it's still 1-1 in anybody's game here. Definitely opportunity to certainly change the momentum of this match in the Outlaws' favor.
Definitely, and like we were saying, Puey and Mijanos have both had impact at various points in the season coming off the bench, so that's what coaching staff will potentially look for them to do here again.
Nice.
And obviously change the course of this match. And another substitute, Baza, here on the ball. Finds Puey right away, and great ball to Madrigal.
Absolutely.
Baza takes a hit.
Looking like he...
And that ball looks like it's just going to stay out of the creek, which makes the owner up in the box here, Adam Dean, say thank you for a little bit. Maybe we can get him on for an interview to talk about all those game balls that have been lost sometime.
would definitely be a perspective I'd love to hear, Alex.
Oh, it was a big press there from Puey. That's what you might see from the Outlaws here, a bit more energy in the midfield and up top, obviously, with all these fresh legs. Looks like Madrigal is playing that position just behind the two fresh strikers. You got fresh players on either side of this midfield in Espinoza and Baza here.
Definitely,
I think
Alex.
Aguchi holding the fort down as the base of the midfield.
Prime opportunity for the Outlaws as we have some pretty good jives in the midfield. Two fresh strikers, as you mentioned before. I think all we need is a guest to bring on that guest luck. Unfortunately, not going to be able to have one here tonight.
Yeah,
Perhaps next game.
Everyone's just too busy this weekend with the 4th of July and everything. It's just, thankfully Emma came on the live stream earlier, and so we're trying to get that guest luck earlier.
Absolutely. Thank you to Glasgow's very own Emma Jolly. As finding ourselves in the Outlaws half. Definitely looking to capitalize here. Dangerous opportunities as we got a call. Wasn't able to see that from my perspective,
Yeah.
Alex.
Ball out of touch there is. Yeah, I think the best thing overall is the weather really cleared up, as typically does in the Midwest. When rain's predicted, it doesn't happen, and when it's not, it does, you know. So good ball there, and Mijanos in a 1v1 position, and those are the areas you want to get him on. He's a really clever attacker in those spaces. Smart player for a young player as well, understands the game.
Definitely, Alex.
And like we said, a field he knows well. He played 4 years of high school here for Bishop Heelan. So if there's one player who knows this field probably better than most, it might be him.
It would be. What better man to have on the Bishop Heelan field than a former Crusader?
Yeah, kid who scored a lot of goals at the high school level as well, and pretty successful club career too. Looks like the Outlaws will recycle here, and obviously it gets later in the game. JD, you know, look for some things to change, some adjustments from some coaching staff.
Absolutely. Alex.
Either way, as well as
I imagine trying to save some energy and change tactics, as you mentioned.
a little bit, one of those loose passes as well. Just a little bit of that disconnect here from the Outlaws at times today, and you can hope that's something that gets cleaned up a little bit before the playoff game. Good win there from Davidson. Center back kind of dribbles himself into a corner, and those are the moments. Got to be careful of. Good win there from the Demon Hawks. Somehow the ball is still in play. Don't ask me how. As the Demon Hawks look to exploit something here, is big deflection, and we got ourselves a corner kick. JD, you know what time that is?
Let's once again thank our sponsors: Well Blue Bunny, Mike Murphy, Perspective Insurance, Schulster, Campbell's Electric, Shunk Roofing, Gold Kick Soccer, Get Branded 360, Red Printing, Go Passage, iHeartMedia, and Rent Sue for sponsoring us this season. As looking like a lot of
Oh, and a penalty called there. Only thing you can assume the ref saw was potentially some grabbing.
No, his hands were in the air. Hands were behind him in the air.
definitely a call that I do not agree with, along with the bench for the Outlaws and half the field, half the audience here.
Yeah, definitely that's
Something
that's something you could ask the referee maybe what he saw there, because you kind of see grabbing like that on every corner kick, JD, and
absolutely.
unfortunately this is a big call that could change the course of this game and the
Massive.
season potentially for all the teams involved.
Massive call for the Demon Hawks here. Definitely a major shift in momentum as all eyes.
It looks like they'll get a left-footed taker on it potentially the way he's shaping up here.
Definitely Council Bluffs' very own Will Devine warming up in the box
Yeah,
here.
big moment here, just shy of this 71st minute here as we're about to cross over on the 70 minutes on the clock.
And away we go.
And a little dinked finish into the corner there for the Demon Hawks, and scenarios and score changes again as we're in an identical score line that happened in Des Moines on May 17th as well. This game has gone a little bit different than the previous home games when the Outlaws have gone behind, though, JD, correct?
Definitely, Alex. Just not feeling the same momentum as we normally would here at Bishop Hill Memorial Field, as the team once again just recollects after a goal and hopefully looking to re-energize themselves here as we enter the 70th minute. Definitely, like you said, Alex, a penalty kick that really shifts the momentum of both teams here. Definitely for the game, if not the season or the playoffs upcoming here. Excuse me. As looking to hopefully shift some momentum in the Outlaws' favor.
And once again, you look for the Outlaws to respond. And, yeah, it was one of those games where the Outlaws have had their chances. They just haven't been able to find the net probably as much as they should. And, you know, that's kind of what you leave yourself susceptible to, obviously, in those moments. I guess words are hard for me here in the 71st, 72nd minute, JD.
It's all right, Alex. At least this time it's you and not me.
Yeah.
Here as we find ourselves here with the captain, Davidson. Davidson able to fill out the pressure here as he gets it back to Ponce. Ponce back to Davidson. A little bit back and forth here. Looking to recycle, maybe change some angles of attack. Beautiful pass there, way up the pitch for the Outlaws.
Yeah, and looking at a replay of the corner kick, that's one of those, if you have VAR, you know, might have been a different decision as well, but we don't today, and the Demon Hawks could take more advantage, and what a fabulous save from Will Devine there, keeping the Outlaws in it for a chance at a point and maybe more, as the Outlaws got to be careful here, as that could have really potentially sealed it for the Demon Hawks there, JD.
Definitely a dangerous opportunity, but Devine able to stop that from happening. Something you love to see it here.
And you got to stay switched on in these moments. Yeah, you're down, but 20 minutes is a long time, probably plus a few minutes added time, and you know the Outlaws still have everything to play for here, and you want that good momentum we talked about earlier going into the playoffs, obviously.
Absolutely, Alex. Outlaws are only down one, and like you said, 20 minutes is a lot of time here for opportunities. Just hoping that the Outlaws are able to clean up some of those messier details, because again, as we've mentioned all game, it seems to cost them pretty good opportunities here. As we get it way up the pitch here for Espinoza. Espinoza probably not fast enough to collect that one.
And the Demon Hawks will take their time with any set piece for the remainder of the game.
Absolutely, Alex. Demon Hawks will be taking all the time that they can here. As definitely they would here.
The only positive with them taking more time for us is the home team, JD, is some more time for sponsors, obviously. But, you know, everyone wants to see the Outlaws obviously have some success here and at least get a point out of this game.
Absolutely. It's a symbiotic relationship. People want to see the action that the Outlaws can bring, but the Outlaws can't bring you that action without the help of our great sponsors here.
As Mijanos here. A little bit of predictable ball back there, intercepted by the Demon Hawks. As the Outlaws have some space here to break, but just a little congested there in the center. you just look for the Outlaws to push the tempo, obviously, to bring this game level.
Absolutely here, Alex. Definitely be interesting to see how,
And
as we mentioned before, the Outlaws are going to
the tricky
here.
thing now with a few substitutes on, but there's the man of the hour, Mijanos, and Baza almost gets on the end of it. 2 substitutes almost combining there, and that's what they can provide you with the fresh legs and the creativity there. A lot of players who have just recently become part of the program and team, and some players who have obviously, come back from injury, obviously come back into the squad there, trying to turn the result around as, some gamesmanship here potentially from the Demon Hawks here trying to run that clock down.
Definitely, Alex, but 74, as we just hit 74 minutes here, plenty of opportunity for the Outlaws to
And
capitalize.
the center ref did make it blatantly clear that he was pointing to his watch about adding time on as well
Absolutely, Alex.
for any of these stoppages.
As we have, I think that's 2 players tying shoes and 1 fixing their socks here. Absolutely milking the opportunities here from the Demon Hawks, as they're just probably looking to kill that momentum for the Outlaws. Definitely not, especially after something like that. Definitely not something you want the Outlaws to keep, is that energy. If you're a Demon Hawk right now.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where the Outlaws got to continue to push this tempo, keep the flow going to the game. Coach Trent making sure the 4th official is in communication with the center official about the dang near 2 minutes that ran off the clock there.
Absolutely, Alex. Something you definitely want to see added on the stoppage time as Foreman once again finding himself here.
Madrigal and Foreman, great touch there from Madrigal. Driving around, this might be a big chance for the Outlaws and just not the finish that's needed, but great play, and that's what you want to see to try and equalize here in these pivotal moments here.
Absolutely.
The last 15 minutes plus some stoppage time of the whole season for the North Conference here.
Absolutely, Alex.
Since this is the only match going on tonight.
Definitely one of those things where the only thing better to see is a ball in the back of the net, but something you want to see from the Outlaws is just energy and momentum and just really that jive together.
Yeah.
That as we've seen here.
Yeah, because obviously, JD, you don't want to let down from a penalty goal like that to go down 2-1 in any match, and obviously, you can't control the pass. It's just you can control your reaction as a team and an individual and try and go get the next moment.
Absolutely, Alex. As my uncle always says, life only makes sense in reverse, but the only direction is forward. As speaking of forward here, Ponce able to push it up a little bit here, but loses control. As we get it back in the back line here. Excuse me, Madrigal. My mistakes. My mistake here, folks. Just a couple of jersey changes here, late-minute jersey changes here, just throwing me off here.
And the Outlaws will look to get the ball back in quickly here. Looking to go direct here to Pewee, a player who's had an impact in a few games as a substitute. So big moment here. And as a player, you really want to make your mark in a situation like this heading into the playoffs, because that'll be something that's front of mind for the coaching staff as well as we go forward too. Zaguchi there, the goal scorer. Dangerous here. Can Baza get in? Can the Outlaws do something with it? Little bit of a wayward shot there. Goes out for a goal kick. Looks like the Demon Hawks are getting ready to make a substitution as well. Looks like number 19 will come on. I think they'll allow substitution at the next time, as we'll get on with it for now. Good little touch there from Martial. Demon Hawks look to play out of pressure, but Martial finds himself again, and Outlaws look to build another attack here. Yeah, the Demon Hawks really sitting in, obviously letting the Outlaws attack come on to him, obviously having that 2-1 lead and obviously needing a result in some fashion tonight as Madrigal finds himself on the ball again. Tracked quickly by the Demon Hawks. Martial looking to pray it, and a great ball back post there. Just can't quite get on the end of it. Not a bad decision there, JD, to kind of change it up a little bit and stretch the back line.
Absolutely not, Alex. As we find ourselves coming across the pitch here. Definitely interesting to see both teams, as you kind of mentioned, Alex, seemingly have a kind of a predictable tactic. If you're the Hawks, you probably want to keep your back line back and let the Outlaws come to you with that 2-1 lead here with 79 minutes left, so about 10 minutes left plus stoppage time.
As Ponce gathers it there, and
Davidson.
yeah, it looks like a bit of a bother there for one of the Demon Hawk players. Didn't quite see what happened behind the play.
Not quite, Alex. Looking like he lost some jewels.
And as far as the Demon Hawks are concerned, they see a couple more seconds come off the clock as well.
Absolutely, Alex. Looking like we have a potential substitution here for the Demon Hawks. Number 19, Jonathan, able to step on the pitch here. As
Barbaro comes off. Was a pretty dangerous player, I must say, for the Demon Hawks today.
Beat me to the punch, Alex. I would absolutely agree with you there, Alex. Barbaro definitely proving his worth today for the Demon Hawks.
And we're back at it here, and with all these stoppages, you got to imagine there's going to be at least 4, maybe 5 minutes added on here at the end, but the Outlaws are trying to make an impact before that. It looks like Mijanos is in again. Dangerous ball there. No touch, out for a goal kick as well, as Sergio's come on and given some good energy up top to the Outlaws again today, JD.
Definitely, Alex, here. Something you want to see, even if it is with just 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. As once again, the Outlaws looking to milk every opportunity here.
Yeah.
Looking like a potential delay of game call.
Looks like it's a final warning there. Final warning for taking the time off the clock. As cheeky ball back post here as the Demon Hawks looking to get a third. Alert save by Divine is not the easiest thing to do when your center backs have been 40 yards in front of you and you haven't had much to do since that goal went in. Have to stay alert there in those goalkeeping situations, obviously.
Thankfully, he does, Alex. Something you want to see from your goalkeeper this late in the game.
You got to imagine it's still well over 10 minutes left in this game as Puey and Mijanos look to have interchanged a little bit up top, and Espinoza giving some width on this near side and maybe looking for Espinoza and Baza to push higher up the field to support those strikers. There's a Gucci on the ball again. Espinoza with a clever little move there.
What a
Great little slotted ball to Puey. Can they make it pay? Just a loose ball there in the final third as Demon Hawks keeper will definitely let that roll out. This is
Luan.
I'd probably bet my house this is the pattern we're going to see for the remaining 10 minutes or so, JD.
And I think you'd win that bet, Alex.
The good thing is I don't have a house to bet, so we're good there.
In today's day and age, who does? Who can afford a house?
Tough little challenge there as the Hawks will look to shave a few more seconds off.
Absolutely, as Philippe hits the ground there for the Hawks here. Should be interesting to watch. Attempt to capitalize. Once again, Alex, the foreman able to get a lot of back and forth here.
Referee had a good view of that. Deemed no fouls. Mijanos is in. If the ball was a bit better there, he was in. But right idea there from Foreman.
Absolutely, Alex.
Would have been a 2v2 with acres of space there for 2 dangerous attacking players to get into.
Would have been a dangerous opportunity here.
Maybe a dangerous opportunity for the Demon Hawks. And if you're a Demon Hawks fan, that's exactly what you want to see. The ball up at a corner kick, about as far away from your goal as humanly possible with 83 minutes on the clock here today, as that's a corner kick, JD, and you know what that means.
I'd like to thank Thrive Health, keeping our players recovered, ready, and resilient, proudly supporting the Outlaws every step of the way. We'd also like to thank Hamilton Touchless Car Wash Chesterman's and Power Radar, Herd Media, La Juanita's, Fibercom, I'm On, Stony LLC, Savvy, and Riverside Properties for sponsoring us this season. We'd also like to thank our dedicated volunteers, event staff, security team, and media crew. Your hard work makes every game day happen.
Good defensive header there from the Outlaws, and this could maybe be a moment if you can pick the Demon Hawks off where they're stretched and you can go attack the other way. As the Demon Hawks directly go back to their goalkeeper. Can expect probably a direct play here. Good little flick there from the Demon Hawks, and looks like they're up in the corner, and you wouldn't be surprised if they just try and take some possession out here. First real spell of possession they've had in a while as Devine comes out strong off of his line.
Love to see it there from Devine.
Was looking to play forward as it looks like there might be a slight change in tactics here as Baza looks like he's pushed up higher as Mijanos almost gets in there. Almost looks like Coach Trent has thrown another player up top and really going to go for this at this point as Sergio plays us out of pressure. As Madrigal in a nice little pocket and just another scuff shot there, you could say.
Definitely, Alex. Once again, just the devil in the details for the Outlaws this game. Outlaws seemingly unable to scuff that off.
Yeah, it does look like Coach Trent's gone to a 4-3-3 potentially with a very high attacking mid and Madrigal just underneath. Pewee is Mijanos looks like he's playing more of an out and out left wing, and Baza looks like he's playing on this right wing now as he's moved up a little bit from the midfield as Davidson gathers and trying to get another body or two forward and turn this into a positive result and finish the home slate undefeated here for the Outlaws.
Definitely something you'd want to do for the Outlaws, Alex, here. As Espinoza finds himself way up.
Foreman looks like he's gotten forward as well. Might have gotten clipped there. Referee deems it was not as ball almost off of the Demon Hawks. Is great play from Baza there just to keep it in as you don't want to bail him out with a foul here though.
Beautiful play from Baza's here.
Good job not fouling there as a player. That's probably one of the most difficult situations to do.
Incredible to see there, Alex.
Referee seemed to turn his head away at just the perfect time, so Iguchi got away with one there. If you're an Outlaws fan, you're thankful the ref was watching behind the play instead of an actual play there. We'll take it. Outlaws continue to throw numbers forward as Foreman's almost looking like he's playing in the midfield as well now.
Definitely.
Almost might even be a 3-4-3 now from Coach Trent as the ball hoisted into the now sunny Sioux City sky this late on, JD.
Definitely, Alex. Beautiful weather for, as we mentioned earlier, the Saturday in the Park festival here happening in town, all the way till I believe 10 p.m. So I believe you'll actually find some of our incredible sponsors out there with their own stands. So feel free to pay them a visit.
As Coach Trent off the bench today. Coach Trent watching intently on to see if the adjustments they made tactically come off here. Yeah, it is definitely almost pretty much a 3-4-3 now from the Outlaws.
As we enter the 87th minute plus stoppage time.
Looks like it's a back line of Ponce, Davidson, and Marshall here. Foreman has pushed into the midfield along with Madrigal and Iguchi and Espinoza, and three up top. You know, the Outlaws going for this, trying to change some things here as Iguchi can't quite get it through. Great reaction, though, to win it again. He's been an important player for the Outlaws today.
Definitely, Alex. You know, if you're head coach for the Outlaws right now, what are you hoping to see come out of the Outlaws here in the last?
Well, first and foremost, a goal any way you can get it, because you want to be going into the playoffs on that good momentum, obviously, and want to finish the home slate in the regular season with some good momentum as the referee didn't get baited into a falling player there. What I am noticing now, though, is that I think there needs to be more movement in front of the ball from the Outlaws. Yes, you're sending more players forward, but if you look, they're not moving off the defenders right now into those spaces to get on the ball, so this is the pattern you're seeing. You know, obviously the Demon Hawks are going to sit. Needs to be some activity, however you slice it, just to create space for you or your teammates right now.
Absolutely, Alex.
And that's a difficulty chasing a game versus a team sitting deep. You know, who's going to make that move? And it might be Pewee here. A little bit of a loose touch. With all those numbers back, it's got to be clever. It's got to be quick, obviously, JD.
Definitely, Alex. A lot more. I would agree with you there. A lot more congestion up the field than I'd like to see, especially this late in the game here from the Outlaws.
And Davidson once again time on the ball here and in that back three.
Espinoza gonna probably go with a short, quick pass here. If I'm a betting man, he's gonna go backwards.
Substitution here probably to take a few more seconds off the clock. Number 28 coming on here for the Demon Hawks for
As Foreman takes the ball here. If I'm a betting man, I'm betting he's gonna go backwards to Ponce, or perhaps forward. I would have lost that bet. Good thing we weren't. As a dangerous opportunity here, if the Outlaws are able to collect, look like they might be able to collect. Oh,
Davidson does the smart thing there and actually a really classy pass there.
very definitely one for the
Madrigal looked like he got clipped there, but it's actually going the Demon Hawks' way for the follow through on him.
Not sure what the ref saw there, Alex, but we play on.
Yeah, well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one since he was 2 yards from it. We're a good, probably, what, 60, 70 yards from it, I must say.
Yeah, probably, Alex.
He gave us that one earlier with the Gucci, so it evens out there. Demon Hawks here. This is very important to keep the possession as they cannot.
They cannot.
Ball back to Davidson, and we are into stoppage time, and a loose pass there from the Outlaws.
Definitely time to keep the energy up here. As you mentioned, Alex, we've officially entered stoppage time. Probably a couple, 3 to 5 minutes at most.
And it's, unless something changes, it looks like the Outlaws will end their season with a home loss potentially, which is unfortunate.
Their first home loss.
Yellow card there for time wasting, and number 28 for the Demon Hawks. Mijanos, can he be strong on the ball here? A little bit of a battle there between the Demon Hawks and Mijanos, and
As looking like we might be trading some words between the officials here.
once again the Demon Hawks slowing down the game as any team would do in this situation, trying to get a result.
Can't really blame them, Alex, can we?
Ball goes up there, and this might be close to now or never for the Outlaws, and
As it bounces off the in and out sign.
it might be going long here with the throw. Is something you got to do in this situation.
Foreman.
Maybe a knockdown, maybe a penalty, something weird here to go in your favor. The Demon Hawks here look to break. Don't want to foul him here as Espinoza does well to press it, and Outlaws will look to build again here quickly. Divine sprays it over to Martial. Numbers forward, first ball, second ball, important here. And they both go to the Demon Hawks, unfortunately, JD.
Unfortunately, Alex, I don't think if we see a really last minute change in anything here, it looks like it might be going the Demon Hawks' way here, and unfortunately give the Outlaws their first loss.
Gucci drives forward, and unlucky touch there from Foreman. Foreman really working his socks off here to try and get the Outlaws level on the scoreboard.
Definitely plenty of stoppage time here for the Outlaws.
And
just
well into stoppage time here. Looked like a good challenge there by Foreman, but
unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to make anything of it.
yep, Demon Hawks did win themselves a throw, and once again, taking their time. Looks like about a couple minutes left here
Definitely.
in the stoppage time, as we can see from the fourth official. Might be some added time here with some slower restarts and stoppages as well. Demon Hawks looking like just to keep the ball in that far corner, which is a smart thing to do in this scenario. Great little touch there. And a corner as well. That's a big win there for the Demon Hawks to take more time off the clock here at Bishop Healy Memorial Stadium, JD.
Absolutely, Alex. As we would like to thank our sponsors: Gold Kick Soccer, Shrunk Roofing, Specialized Concrete, Great Western Rentals, Bear There Outdoors, Campbell's Electric, Schulster, Shrunk Roofing, Rent Sue, Plain Assets Management, Wells Blue Bunny, Chesterman's and Powerade, Big Picture Entertainment, and Adidas for sponsoring us this season.
Loose pass there from the Demon Hawks. The Outlaws look to go quickly, and this might be close to their last attack at this point. Plays it short to Davidson, just has taken easy 30 yards here, and let's get up in the attack. Might be now or never, so take those risks, get forward, Outlaws. Hope for something weird to happen as Mijanos might be in here. Ball bouncing around, keeper misjudges it. Luckily gets back on it. And that is it. Your final whistle. An unfortunate result to end the fall in the summer season for the Outlaws.
Absolutely, Alex. Any closing thoughts? I mean, for me personally, my closing thoughts would be unfortunate to see the Outlaws just really throughout the entire game not able to clean up those fine details that seemed to cost them opportunities. You know, there was definitely some better play towards the middle of the second half, but overall, they just didn't seem to be able to collect and jive as they normally do here. You know, definitely a different vibe for a home game, as we mentioned before, first loss of the season. But other than that, I mean, a great season to close off on, and hopefully we'll see some better play for the playoffs next week.
The only thing you can hope is obviously it doesn't affect the seeding for your Outlaws. Obviously, they'll be at home here on Wednesday night, and that's what you always fight for is a home game in the first round of playoffs at minimum. But, you know, as a coach, maybe you hope a result like this really refocuses the team and obviously really gets the level at 100% heading into that home playoff game, which will be a first for Siouxland United in their history. Good progress for the team, obviously, this season, and now you hope this result and obviously the close loss on Wednesday really refocus the team and let them go forward. So,
absolutely, Alex. We'd like to once again thank our sponsors and thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us this for the first playoff game this Wednesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. We, of course, here at Bishop Hill Memorial Field. Of course, you'll find me and Alex here broadcasting if you can't make it out here to Sioux City. And with that, go Outlaws. Thank you for joining us.
thank you. Have a good night.